We saw that we're given 3 default layouts when we create a new meeting space. I've customized each layout by moving pods around, resizing them, and selecting only the pods that I've decided I want to use. Each layout in my class is set up for its own purpose. I have a layout that the main purpose of it is just to chat, answer questions, keep notes that I can even later share with my participants. I've created a sharing layout I can use to share a file like a PowerPoint presentation. So I'll use this layout for presenting or for instruction. I've also created a polling layout to engage participants and to determine comprehension of things we've discussed. These layouts can be switched quickly by selecting the layout icons or from the menu bar. I'm going to add 2 more layouts. I want a screen for participants to see prior to the session as they wait. So I'll create a new layout. I can duplicate one that already exists, or I can create a new one from scratch. I'll create a new one from scratch from a blank layout. I'll call this layout Start. I'll add a notes pod. And I'll type in information about when the meeting will begin. I'll rename my notes pod. I'll resize this. And again, the reason I name my notes pod is because later when I go to notes, I can easily find this and use it again. It's called Start Time. I could even add a share pod that will include a photo of myself if I'd like, or in this case, I think I'll just put a nice background on here. I'll go to Preferences, and I'll upload a background. Now my start screen is ready to go. Since it's the first screen that I'll be using, it makes sense to order these properly. So I will move my template up to the top. It'll be the first template I use. When the meeting starts, we'll go into some simple discussions. I'll go to my sharing template, and this is where I'll share my PowerPoint presentation. After my instruction, I'll go to Polls and ask my participants questions about the materials we covered. And the last template I think I'll add is my contact information. So I'll create a new template for my contact information so people know how to get a hold of me if they have any questions. So I'll go to Layout, create a new layout. I'll call it End Meeting. I'll put in my contact information. And notice, since I already have used it once before and I've already created it and named it properly, I can simply come over here and select it. And I can even upload files that my students can download by clicking on them. I'll create a new file share pod. I'll resize this. Select the files I want to share with my students. I'll browse my computer. So now I've got my contact information and files that my students could download if they want to. This will be my last template or my last layout that I'll use during my online session. You'll notice that the background image stays with all my templates. Later, if I decide I want to get rid of one of these layouts, I can simply go over to the layout and select the X for Delete Layout. I can also manage my layouts by going to the menu, selecting the layouts I want to delete or rename them. They can also be renamed by simply going over to the menu and rename them here. Or I can reset back to the original 3 layouts.